The clip was only a few seconds long, but it instantly set the internet on fire. In an interview with Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, and rising star Ayo Edebiri, a single question turned what should have been a routine press stop into a viral storm. Fans couldn't believe their eyes when Edebiri was seemingly left out of a conversation about #MeToo and Black Lives Matter, and the way she handled it left viewers both impressed and outraged. The setup seemed harmless at first. Italian journalist Federica Polidoro was sitting down with the trio to promote their new film, After the Hunt. She turned to Roberts and Garfield with a loaded question: now that the #MeToo era and the Black Lives Matter movement are done, what do we have to expect in Hollywood? Noticeably, she didn't direct it to Edebiri, who was right there, young, talented, and also a black woman whose perspective would have been essential. That silence spoke volumes. And then came the moment that made headlines. Instead of sitting quietly, Edebiri spoke up with calm confidence. "Yeah, I know that that's not for me, and I don't know if it's purposeful it's not for me, but I just am curious." Her grace in pointing out the exclusion struck a nerve. The room fell into an awkward pause. Viewers watching later couldn't believe how smoothly she handled a moment that could have gone very differently. Almost instantly, the internet pounced. Clips of the exchange raced across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Fans pointed out how odd the wording was, especially the suggestion that #MeToo and BLM were somehow done. Others zeroed in on why Edebiri was skipped entirely when her perspective seemed not only relevant, but vital. The question wasn't just badly phrased, it felt like a dismissal. Even Julia Roberts couldn't let it slide. She cut in quickly, saying, "It's not done." Garfield looked stunned, while Edebiri doubled down with a thoughtful answer. She reminded everyone that activism doesn't end with hashtags, that real work continues every day, led by people who refuse to stop pushing. Her response was so powerful, fans began sharing it as the real highlight of the interview, overshadowing everything else. But the backlash against the reporter was brutal. Federica Polidoro suddenly found herself accused of racial insensitivity, bad journalism, and trying to minimize two of the most important social movements in recent memory. Threads and comment sections lit up with anger. Some viewers accused her of erasing Edebiri, while others called the entire line of questioning tone-deaf at best. Days later, Polidoro decided she couldn't stay silent. On Instagram, she posted a lengthy statement defending herself. She claimed she'd been the victim of personal insults, cyberbullying, and unfair attacks. According to her, the controversy focused only on how she phrased her question, ignoring the thoughtful responses from Roberts, Garfield, and Edebiri that were published in full. Her defense didn't stop there. She emphasized her long career interviewing people of every background, adding that her own family is multi-ethnic, matriarchal, and feminist. She argued that calling her racist was unjust, and that in her view, the real racists are those who see racism everywhere and try to silence journalists. To her, uncomfortable questions are part of democracy, and shutting them down is censorship. That explanation only added fuel to the fire. Some sympathized with her stance on free press, but others felt she was doubling down instead of taking responsibility. Critics argued that this wasn't about silencing journalists, it was about accountability, sensitivity, and how questions are framed in an industry still grappling with inequality. And then came the sharpest twist. Polidoro warned she wouldn't tolerate defamatory or violent language and reserved the right to take legal action against those she said had attacked her online. For many fans, this felt like pouring gasoline on the fire. What started as an awkward interview moment had now spiraled into a debate about the role of journalism itself. The bigger irony? The film they were promoting, After the Hunt, deals directly with issues of assault, academia, and power, topics tied to #MeToo. The same themes that should have been at the center of the discussion instead became overshadowed by a viral controversy about who gets to speak, and who gets ignored. So here's the real question. Was this just poor phrasing that went horribly wrong, or was Ayo Edebiri deliberately excluded in a way that reflects deeper, unconscious biases? Some argue the internet overreacted. Others say this moment exposed exactly why representation still matters in Hollywood conversations. One thing is certain. A few seconds of awkward silence reminded the world how fragile the line is between asking hard questions and unintentionally silencing the very voices those questions are about. And whether you see Federica Polidoro as a journalist under fire or someone who missed the mark, The clip will live on as a viral example of how quickly the internet holds people accountable. So what do you think? Was this an unfair pile-on, or did the backlash reveal something bigger about the way Hollywood still frames its conversations? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories where a single moment changes everything.